whenever you two are ready, we're ready to go.
Okay, yeah, if you want to start with your name and major and what your small group was this semester.
I'm Austin Scheibmeyer. I am a neuroscience major, and my small group was with Jacqueline, and we called it Fignum Style because it was a first-year interest group.
Okay, can we go ahead and do that one time?
Yeah, that was just mumbo jumbo. Okay.
Go ahead, put on your name and your major and then what your small group was this semester.
I'm Austin Scheibmeyer. I'm a neuroscience major, and I had a first-year interest group this year.
Can you tell me a little bit about what some of your concerns were about transitioning from high school to college?
I think my biggest concern was trying to find the balance between academics and social activities and extracurriculars, and then also trying to make new friends, and I think both were definitely helped with the FIG.
How did your small group facilitate that transition? So some of the things that you just talked about, trying to find some of that balance. What were maybe some of the activities that your group did in each of those areas that helped you to kind of navigate that transition a little bit?
Well, we had a lot of different group activities that we did. That first half made us friends, so I had a little community in some of my classes with people that I was now comfortable with to be friends with. And then in regard to trying to find the balance, we had a lot of advice given at several seminars, and just having a FIG mentor and having that elder person who'd already gone through college and everything like that, and just their advice was very helpful in the transition.
Talk to me a little bit more about your relationship with your FIG mentor, having that peer upperclassman who's kind of been there, done that. A little bit more about your interactions with them, whether it was part of the group or if you had a chance to meet one-on-one with them as well.
Having the FIG mentor is definitely a very good thing. Like, I got to meet up with him one-on-one, and he's in some of the classes that he finished some of the classes that I'm in right now, and he was able to give a lot of advice, especially during the one-on-one, and that was really cool in itself, just being able to go somewhere new on campus and be able to talk. Because it's such a big campus, it's kind of hard to get one-on-one conversation with someone who can just help you out. So the FIG mentor position has definitely helped ease my transition, especially with academics.
Tell me a little bit about resources you found on campus this first semester that have helped you as you transition from high school into college.
Well, the Sanger Learning Center tutorials have definitely been a plus because we get 5 free sessions, so I'm still currently using mine. What else? The Career Design Center, I had to use the University Health Services because I got sick, and very easy pharmacy over there. The Student Services building is very nice, and yeah.
Tell me a little bit more about your interaction with the Career Design Center.
I had to get a resume and a cover letter for some of the internships I was applying for, positions, and so they were definitely really helpful in helping me improve those. And they also send out a lot of weekly emails with volunteer activities and a bunch of workshops that you can go to just benefit you. So I've tried to take advantage of as many of those as I possibly can.
How did you best learn about resources on campus this semester? Were they things that you found yourself? Were they things that your group introduced you to?
I definitely became aware of many of them through emails that we got through the university, but also definitely through the FIG. The FIG helped me become better aware of what was available on campus with all the resources.
Is there one resource that stands out in your mind as, oh my gosh, gosh, I wouldn't have gotten through this semester if not for, and that can be an office on campus, it could be your first year group, it could be your mentor, it could be having the classes together.
Yeah, it's definitely my FIG. Like I said, so now I have 20 to 30 kids in a class that I'm now comfortable with. I've been able to form study groups with them. We actually have a group message with our FIG mentor in it as well, so whenever we're stressed out or need some question answered, it's nice to be able to have a resource there to get that resolved.
Can you tell me about a time that your academic advisor helped you this semester?
Well, it's been very convenient having my academic advisor be my FIG mentor or my FIG leader. And well, she's helped me out so much, but I was definitely struggling with determining if I still wanted to be a neuroscience major, and she was just there to give me all the different options available, especially with the different degrees that I wanted to do, and she's helped me become acquainted with several of the certificate options that I could possibly do.
Can we do a quick retake
Yeah,
of you saying
what?
about her being your FIG leader?
Okay, and then what was the question? Like a time she helped me or something?
Yeah, something about a time that your academic advisor helped you this semester.
Okay. So you want me to say that?
Maybe if you just give the question again,
Sure.
prompt him.
Okay.
Describe for me a time this semester in which your academic advisor helped you.
It was definitely convenient having my academic advisor be my FIG leader. She's just been great, and it's definitely been good being able to have that opportunity to go and speak with her one-on-one, especially since she's a very busy person and she can't just always be helping me. So, oh wait, let me retake that. How am I going to phrase that? I'm trying to say, like, even when I couldn't go see her in her office because she's always busy, it was nice having that one time during the week where she, like, kind of had to be with us. Do I say that?
It was nice having some built-in access.
There we go.
advisor,
Okay, yeah.
Something like that.
Okay, I like that. So, you're asking about, okay.
Sure. Tell me about a time that your academic advisor helped you during this semester.
Well, it was definitely convenient having my academic advisor be my FIG leader. It was nice being able to have some built-in access to get my questions answered, because as a freshman I came in not knowing very much at all, and so that was one of the experiences I had. Was I got to go into her office, and I was typical freshman. I was getting concerned about if this was a major that I really wanted to do, and she was able to provide me with all the different options, all the different tracks that I could do, all the different certificates I could partake in, and so that was a good experience.
Can you briefly describe some type of self-advising tool that you used this semester, whether it was running a degree audit, downloading your degree plan, mapping out semesters, something along those lines?
I did all three of those things. I didn't know we had the interactive degree audit until my FIG, and then through my FIG found out that that was possible, and so I've run at least 4 of those. I've tried to map out all 4 of my years here, and then what was the other one? We'll retake this one.
Downloading degree plan.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, you want to do a retake?
Yes.
All right. Can you briefly describe a self-advising tool that you used this semester, whether it was interactive degree audit, downloading your degree plan, or mapping your 4-year plan for graduation?
I did all of those. I first found out about the interactive degree audit through my FIG, and once we became acquainted with it and were shown how to use it, I've definitely run at least 4 interactive degree audits. I've mapped out all 4 years, and that was through being able to find my degree plan online, and also being able to see the different degree options available was convenient, especially for my major.
Great. Yeah, you have a lot to choose from. Can you describe a positive faculty or TA interaction you had this semester, whether it was in the classroom or visiting office hours, but some type of interaction you had with faculty or TA that was helpful for you?
In one of my, in my undergraduate course, I needed help on my lab, and so I scheduled a time with my professor to go into her office hours, and I was definitely really stressed about my lab because it was a hard topic. I didn't exactly know how to get all the information that I needed and how to go on with the experiment. And she just pulled me into her lab and sat with me for 30 to 45 minutes and made me feel so at ease, and definitely helped get me on the right track.
Can we do a retake of that one? And then when you talk about the undergraduate class, are you talking, is this a UGS class?
Yes.
Are you in research methods?
Yeah, the scientific inquiry across the disciplines.
Okay, let's just call it your UGS class. 'Cause
Okay.
I think incoming groups will know exactly what that means because we're going to pound it into their heads at orientation.
Yes.
Okay, so can you talk a little bit about a positive faculty or TA interaction that you had this semester?
Definitely in my undergraduate studies course, which is the UGS course, I had a lab that I was working on, and I was very concerned on how to proceed with the experiment and how I was going to get my data. And I went up to my professor, I scheduled a time to meet with her since I couldn't make her office hours, and then she pulled me into her lab one day, took 30 to 45 minutes to spend talking to me and help me learn out or figure out how to resolve my issues and how to proceed with my experiment, and that definitely made me feel very at ease. And that was my first office hour experience, so I've definitely gone more and more now since seeing how positive it was.
Great. Can you maybe talk a little bit more about the office hours experience? I'm trying to think how to phrase the question. Was it hard to take that leap to going to office hours, or kind of getting over being nervous about approaching faculty, something along those lines? Tell me how you gathered the courage to go to office hours.
It was definitely a big step. You're pounded in orientation by all the upperclassmen to go to office hours. It's one of the main things they tell you to do when you get to campus. And so I guess building up that courage for that, take that first step and finally go. It took me a little while, but I think my first time I went was in September. I finally gathered the courage to go. I made a little sheet of all the office hours for all of my classes, and then saw which ones conflicted with my classes and which ones didn't. And then once I saw the open available ones, I was like, you know what, you need to go. Everyone says you need to go. And all the faculty are super nice, especially when it comes to being in their office hours. And so it was definitely really smooth once I finally approached them and started attending their office hours.
Can I get you to redo that question?
Experience was like once you were there.
When you get to college and when you start doing all sorts of different activities and getting advice from people, one of the main things they all say is go to office hours. It's been drilled in my head, and so about mid-September I finally started to gather the courage, and I made a list of all of my courses and then all their different times, and then I went through all of my course syllabi and made a list of all of their office hour times, and I saw which ones conflicted and which ones didn't. And finally, after doing that, I was like, you know what, you got to start going to these because they're open. You're not doing anything else in that time. And I've never had a bad office hour experience at all. Like, the faculty are very, very good about first-year students and getting them comfortable in that environment, and they're very good once. Oh, I want to retake that. I'm trying to find the word. What word did I use to describe them?
Drunkards.
What did I say first?
It was something like approachable. approachable, but it wasn't, I don't know if it was exactly that, but
Something like that, yeah.
that they were
I was like, very good. And I was
very,
like,
they were super the best.
Enthusiastic, open, friendly, inviting.
Okay, perfect. So, okay.
How did you find the faculty when you did finally make it into office hours? What was your experience like with them?
They were definitely very approachable and very easy to talk to, and definitely they just wanted to help you. They wanted to know all of our questions, and they took all the time to make sure that every one of our questions was completely answered.
This one's pretty open-ended, so we'll see what comes out. What is something that you discovered this semester, whether it was a new subject that you tried, getting involved in research for the first time, joining a sports team, joining a student org? What was something that you discovered during this semester that was brand new to you from the time that you got to college, and maybe something that you didn't necessarily expect to find, but you were happy that you found here? That was a really long question, but hopefully that just came through.
I think one of the interesting things I discovered was I actually really enjoyed my anthropology class. I had just signed up for it, and I was like, I just got to get it out of the way, and no, I've really enjoyed it. Another thing, I didn't expect to join the triathlon club, and that's been a real treat, being able to go to those practices and stay in shape, because that's another thing people tell you about in college is stay in shape. I heard about the freshman 15, but I'll probably retake this one, but I'm trying to, what else should I talk about?
Could you recommend a club I could join for after college to
Triathlon.
We need a staff triathlon club. Let's try a retake.
What else do you want me to say?
I think that's fine. Anything that's in there. If you want to expound a little bit on maybe what it was about anthropology that sort of has that's been engaging to you. So it sounds like you were maybe a little bit surprised to like that class as much as you did. And then I think the triathlon club is great to keep in.
Should I talk about joining the Hellraisers too, or?
Sure.
Okay.
Why not? Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
So what is something that you discovered this semester?
Something I discovered this semester was my actual enjoyment of my anthropology class. I really just enjoyed the environment. I enjoyed the topics that we actually went over, and what am I trying to ramble off here? What did I say earlier? Okay, let me make a list. So anthropology, class environment, course material, and the professor. Okay, class environment, course material, professor, and then triathlon, staying in shape. And then I didn't expect to join the Hellraisers, but I've loved every minute of it, I guess, being a part of a spirit group.
Do you want me to ask in those pieces? Or do you want to just do like one big one?
Whatever works.
Because I can prompt with anthropology, I can prompt with Hellraisers and triathlon, if that would be easier.
Yeah, I think that would be advantageous too, because you're really going for the big long take.
Yeah.
You love it, and all of a sudden we
Yeah.
have the bad.
Yes, yeah.
Maybe shorten it up a little bit.
Perfect.
For each of those. Okay. Tell me something you discovered this semester. Like, what was a new class that you took that was interesting? What about that course material? What about the professor did you like?
I definitely enjoyed my anthropology class, which I was not expecting. I really enjoyed the professor. I loved the class environment, and it's probably been my best class experience so far. And yeah, I've really enjoyed the course material.
What have you discovered about balancing athletics and staying in shape during your first semester with all the busyness of your courses?
Coming into college, that was another big thing people were telling me about was to stay in shape. You need both physical and mental health. And so I decided to join the triathlon club, which has been super fun. I've loved going to all the practices I can make, and yeah, it's great to definitely have another support group here on campus.
Are there any other clubs that you've joined since coming to UT?
I joined the Longhorn Hellraisers, which are a spirit group, the people that paint their chests at the game and paint their faces, and it's definitely a way to get away from the academics and just go cheer on UT. And I've just really enjoyed being a part of that spirit group.
Do you want to do, or can we do one more take on both the triathlon and the spirit group?
Sure.
Tell me a little bit about balancing academics with balancing mental fitness with physical fitness. What have you done to kind of keep those two in check during your first semester here?
Well, definitely that was one of the main things coming into college was people were telling me you've got to stay in shape. We've all heard of the Freshman 15. And so I joined the triathlon club, and I have made it to as many practices as I possibly can, the ones that don't interfere with my courses. And it's definitely just been great to have another support group on campus. And I also joined the Longhorn Hellraisers, which are a spirit group that go to all the sporting events and paint their faces and their chests. And I guess that's been a good way to get away from the academics. I know that I'm spending enough time studying and going to my courses, and so it's nice to have another group of people that I can go with and just enjoy my time here on campus.
That was excellent. Could we have you do that one more time just because of the coughing?
Yes.
Do you want some
Sick.
water, you think? We get you?
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm a little sick, if you can hear it.
The season. Okay, so tell me a little bit about balancing your academics with, mental fitness with your physical fitness. What are some outlets that you've found outside of your academics since coming to UT?
Coming into college, that was one of the most important things people were telling me. They said, you've got to stay in shape. We've all heard of the Freshman 15. And so I immediately joined the triathlon club just because it sounded like something I wanted to do. And after also adding to my list of courses and office hours, their practices, I've been attending as many practices as I possibly can. And it's definitely helped me stay in shape and stay focused on my goals here at UT. And then I also joined the Longhorn Hellraisers, which are a spirit group that paint their faces, paint their chests at the games, and it was great to have that outlet to go with a group of people, kind of get away from the academics here and just cheer on UT and just have an additional support group as well.
Here's another one that's a little bit open-ended, and we'll see what comes out of it. What surprised you the most during your first semester at UT? If the most is too much, what were some surprises that you had this semester?
Do you have any ideas I could? That is so, yeah, that's...
That one's totally wide open. We can go, if you want to go to a couple of other questions,
All right.
kind of let that one percolate for a little bit.
Sure, yeah.
We can do that. One that's not on here, but one that I'm curious about, if you can speak to it a little bit, can you talk a little bit about time management in high school versus time management in college? Are there any differences? Were there ways in which you had to learn how to manage your time after coming to UT?
There are definitely a lot of differences between my time management in high school and my time management here. Here in college, I've had to study so much more. And also being independent, no one's here to wake you up in the morning. So I have to constantly be wary of how many hours I'm spending at night, what time I'm going to bed, because I have to get myself up in the morning. There's no parent there like there was in high school. And also with athletics, and I'm not involved in like a D1 sport right now, and I'm just in a club. I'm here for my personal fitness, whereas in high school I was on a team, so I was kind of held more responsible to that. So definitely, I've had to learn how to get myself up and get to things. Okay, no, we'll have to redo that one. What else was there, though?
Just differences of time management in high school versus time management.
Oh, that was it. Oh, I thought that was the second part. I was like, I can't even remember the second part. Okay.
Did I do a second part?
No. Okay. So differences in time management.
Mhm.
Was what I said okay?
All of which was excellent, yes.
Okay.
We're definitely talking about personal accountability versus, having people hold you accountable in high school versus now holding yourself accountable.
Okay.
So tell me a little bit about your your time management, how it was in high school versus how it is at UT. Were there changes that you had to make coming into college to better manage your time and fit in everything that you want to fit in?
Time management in high school was definitely completely different from time management in college. First off, in college, I'm having to study a lot more, so I have to devote a lot of hours to those outside of being in a spirit club and being in an athletic club. And in regards to the athletics in high school, I was on several sports teams. I was being held accountable to go to all the practices, and I kind of had a fallback with I had my parents to help wake me up and get me up in the mornings and get me to practices if I needed that. Here in college, it's all you. You're independent, and so definitely having to learn how to be accountable as well and get myself to the gym, even if I don't have to, just to stay in shape, and also get myself to classes. And I've also had to be wary of what time I go to sleep at night because I don't have someone to wake me up in the morning, and I have to get to all of my courses and office hours and practices. So being able to balance how much time I'm studying, how much sleep I'm getting, whether I'm going to an athletic event or not, I've had to learn how to balance all of those. I hope that made sense.
Yeah, it definitely did. What are some of the best things about being part of your small group of other incoming freshmen? What are your favorite things about your freshman interest group?
I love the fact that it's a group of people who have some of my same interests as well, and so we get to talk about what we want to be when we grow up, or if we're struggling with courses, there's always someone there to help get us through that. And I've also I've loved having my academic advisor be my leader because she is always so busy, and it's kind of a time that she has to be with us, and she provides a lot of good information about resources and other seminars or workshops or things that we can be working on.
Tell me a little bit about what it's like being in linked classes with your freshman interest group. Has it been helpful in ways to have those students be taking the same courses that you are, know the same professors that you know?
That's definitely the most helpful thing about the FIG, in my opinion, was walking into biology and chemistry those first few weeks. Didn't really know anyone until after I met with my FIG, found out there were 20, 30 other people in my same situation, and we've all started sitting together. We formed a group message. We study sometimes together, so that's definitely been a big help.
I'm going to come back around to what has surprised you this semester. Have you had any surprises during your first semester at UT?
I think the biggest surprise initially was I was in shock factor when I first got here about all the independence that I had, and I think the biggest surprise is all the opportunities you have here. There's over 1,000 clubs you can join, all sorts of things. No, we're not. Wait, how am I trying to get the? Like, what is a good example of a surprise that I could have?
It could be anything like you said, like being surprised about the amount of independence. I think that's a great point for incoming
Kind
freshmen.
of transitioning to
Okay.
an adult world.
Okay, good.
Exactly. I
Okay.
think that's very helpful.
So what can I say about so?
And I think
All the
also
independence.
the opportunities. I think that's a great one because I think a lot of students coming in, they have no idea how much is going to be available to them here. So once they get here, it's like,
Yeah, and I don't even know if you want to go like cultural eccentric, but just in Austin in general, I would think.
Okay,
I don't
yeah.
know where you're from, but
Mhm.
I know when I moved from Idaho to LA, that was really
Yeah.
quite a big leap.
Oh, so I can be like how awesome, or I guess I wasn't expecting Austin to be this awesome. Well,
Even though
it's-
you probably were.
Uh,
because it's pretty
well,
awesome.
I'd only ever been here once before, and I had no idea it was like the music capital
Where
of
are
the
you
world.
from?
I'm from the Dallas area,
Okay.
but the first time I came here was for my college visit.
I'm always I'm always disappointed in you Texans who don't have the accent, and I don't have stereotypes.
I used to have it, but then I moved to Kentucky, so
Oh, yeah.
kind of lost it.
Yeah.
It can be a good thing. Okay, so surprise, independence, and transitioning into the adult world, and then all the opportunities available, both on campus and in the city.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Great. So tell me a little bit about some things that really surprised you when you came to UT.
I think the biggest surprise for me was all the independence we now are granted and given. Definitely figuring out how to transition into the adult world has definitely been the biggest shock to me. Just I remember the first few weeks I was like trying to convince myself that this wasn't just some trip or vacation, and I wasn't just going straight back home, like I was actually living on campus. And then another big surprise to me was all the opportunities available here at UT and in the city of Austin. The city of Austin is just a hub of all sorts of different people, and especially campus as well. And so being able to figure out what internships are available to me, what all the different courses available, all the different social events, all the music festivals here in Austin. It's definitely been a good surprise to me. Okay.
Do we have time? Let's have him do his name and title again.
Okay.
And then do we have time maybe to do his first three questions?
Yeah.
Are you
Sure.
interested in doing those?
Yeah. Let's run maybe run through the first few now that you're
Okay. Yeah. More comfortable.
probably as comfortable
Yeah.
as you're gonna
Okay.
get.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, let's do, tell me your name and your major and what your small group was this semester.
My name is Austin Scheibmeyer. I am a neuroscience major, and I was involved in a first-year interest group this year.
Tell me a little bit about some of your concerns that you had in transitioning. Tell me some of your concerns that you had in transitioning from high school into college.
I think the biggest concern that I had was being able to find the balance between academics and social work or extracurricular activities, figuring out how to manage my time, and also just trying to get involved. I knew I was going to get involved, but I was concerned about what I was going to get involved with and if I was going to have time to maintain good grades while being active in those groups.
Tell me a little bit about ways in which your small group facilitated your transition to
My small group provided a lot of opportunities for us to not only get to know each other, but also get to know the campus. We went on a scavenger hunt. We've had several seminars come in. We've been out to eat with them. They've showed us around several of the campus resources. And yeah, it's just been great having that group, be able to experience UT with that group.
Tell me about a couple of resources that you found on campus that helped you in your transition.
Some of the resources I've used here on campus were the University Health Services because I got sick. I needed medicine. That was a great resource over there in the Student Services building. I've also been to the Career Design Center. I have taken advantage of my free Sanger Learning tutorials, and definitely office hours have been a big help in my academics.
Could we do that?
Yeah, in my academic.
Tell me a little bit about some of the resources on campus that helped you in your transition this semester.
I think the first place I visited was the University Health Services, which was in the Student Services building, because I got sick. I needed medicine. I didn't bring all the medicine that I needed down from my house here to campus, so that was a great resource. I've also been to the Career Design Center, and I've also taken advantage of my Sanger Learning free tutorials, and then finally office hours have definitely been a big help in my academics.
I'm going to go back just one more time to tell me a little bit more about your concerns transitioning from high school to college.
I think the biggest concern for me transitioning from high school to college was trying to find a balance between my academics and my extracurricular activities, or spirit groups or athletic groups, all sorts of things. And also being able to manage my time and
using groups as a way to find some friends.
Yeah.
Is that all of it? Talk to me a little bit about how you were able to find your balance this semester between academics and extracurriculars, or tell me a little bit about some concerns you had about that balance.
I think that was my biggest concern coming into college from high school, was trying to figure out the balance between my academics and my extracurricular activities and my athletic events and social events. And I guess after the first couple of weeks, you start getting into motion, you start figuring it out. So then my next concern was figuring out, how am I going to make friends? And one of the ways that I was able to start making friends was I joined several groups, which had also been a concern of mine, because you get to campus here, there's over 1,000 groups to join. I was like, well, what groups am I going to join? And through the couple groups that I've joined, like Triathlon Team and Hellraisers, I've made some very good connections.
Yeah, sounds good.
Anything else you want?
Are there any other takes you think would be beneficial?
No, he has a very kind of similar trajectory that a lot of people have in here. It's just that once they kind of establish methodology in their mind for answering the questions, and then also it's impossible to come in here and feel comfortable, and then eventually get into the groove, despite my charms. Then we usually have to go back to the front and just kind
Right.
of work through those stakes that were a little
Rough, yeah.
Yeah, a little more kind of stiff because of this environment. But I thought it was good. What did you think?
I'm fine.
Austin,
You feel-
evaluate your performance for us.
I
You were
have no
great.
idea.
Is there anything you want to go back that you're like, I really need to say this?
Or any advice, I guess, for freshman students?
That's a good idea.
What advice do I have? I'm trying to think of unique advice, because there's always like, join groups, go to office hours. I guess I could just be like, become active in your FIG, because I know several people who aren't active in their FIG at all.
I think a lot of the theme of it is just not necessarily taking chances, but showing the initiative to go out and interact in the environment, whether it be, and I'm
Yeah,
not
that's-
articulating it very well, but that seems to be is overcoming your fear to
Okay, yeah.
risk
Putting
meeting new
yourself out
people.
there.
Exactly, yes.
Gotta be outgoing,
which is
yeah.
a theme for life, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And definitely for first semester.
And especially how
Okay.
judgmental our society has become.
Yeah. So, definitely put yourself out there, or
Showing the initiative to try new things.
okay. So, what advice do you have? And then really put yourself out there, show the initiative to try new things. That's good. Okay.
Do you have any advice for our next group of incoming freshmen next year?
I would just say, don't be afraid to be outgoing and put yourself out there. I think that's one of the best ways to make friends and get cultured into UT. And yeah, just take initiative and don't be afraid to, no. Ugh. I just said that. Okay, what did you say? Take initiative?
I think you said it like in your first sentence. It's
Yeah,
Okay.
like
I
two
think you
sentences,
covered
and it's
it.
like I think you just covered everything right there, and then you
Right.
Yeah.
And
I
then
think
just rambling.
that
If
don't be afraid to put yourself out there.
y'all can just cut
And take
off
it-
the rest.
And try new things. Yeah, I think that something like that
Okay.
works.
So don't be afraid to put yourself out there.
and try new things, not only within UT but in the city at large. I don't know. That doesn't sound very good.
Oh, and then I talked about like making, or that's the best way to make friends, I
Mhm.
guess.
That was good.
Okay.
Ready?
Mhm.
What advice would you give to incoming freshmen next year?
I would definitely say don't be afraid to put yourself out there and be outgoing. Definitely try new things. I think joining different groups was the best way I was able to make new friends here on campus.
Okay, that was perfect, but just don't emote afterwards. Can you?
Okay.
At the very end, you
Yeah.
made a like, is that okay?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's great.
All right. Do you have any advice that you would give to incoming freshmen next year?
I would say put yourself out there. Don't be afraid to try new things and take initiative. I think that was the best way I was able to make friends here on campus was through the different groups that I joined and put myself. Nope.
Put yourself out there.
Okay, one more time. I
You
can.
can add in kind of, I guess, like the office hour thing too, as far as like,
Okay, yeah.
don't be afraid to speak to people, like
Okay. Oh, okay,
professors,
yeah.
students, anybody, whatever.
So don't be afraid to put yourself out there. That involves joining groups, going to office hours. Okay.
Being, like you said, a full participant in your small group, whatever that small
Yeah.
group is.
Okay.
All right.
You just want me to say it?
Do you want me to, do you want
Oh, you can.
more in,
Prop-
like,
prop- She, yeah, just go ahead and prompt him.
okay, we'll try it. Let's see what happens. Let's make the magic happen. What is your best advice, if I was a freshman who's coming to UT next fall? What would you tell me?
I would say don't be afraid to put yourself out there and take the initiative to join different groups and attend office hours. I know that was one of the ways, joining groups was one of the ways I was able to make a lot of friends, and then office hours helped me become better acquainted with the school and with the faculty here.
It's great.
That made sense.
Yes, that was great.
Thank you. Okay.
Anything else?
I think.
Hopefully there's some stuff you can use
No,
there.
there's
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah,
Is that a
I think
wrap?
we're good.
Awesome.
That's a wrap.
Cool.